All right, it's a sports wrap short, and Derek Carr, the career is over for the New Orleans Saints quarterback. Spent 11 years in the league, 9 of them with the Las Vegas/Oakland Raiders, and the last couple in New Orleans with the Saints. He suffered a labral tear shoulder injury and decided in March, after suffering the injury and realizing he had the injury, he decided on Saturday morning that was it. Announced his retirement through the Saints organization. And a lot of discussion will take place about what happens with the Saints going forward, and we'll get to that in a second. But I was just thinking about it as the news came down this morning, and I'm just wondering what Derek Carr's career could have been. You know, when you go and look at Derek Carr by the numbers, if you strip away the teams that he played for, and I just read you off some of the statistics, Derek Carr for his career, 65% completion percentage. Threw for over 41,000 yards, 257 touchdowns to 112 interceptions. I mean, if I read you off those numbers, you'd say, that guy's got a shot to be in the Hall of Fame, right? 11 years in the league, Pro Bowler 4 times, All-Pro, MVP. He was third in MVP voting in 2016, which was easily his best year in the league. 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I had a good year in 2015 as well when the Raiders went 7-9, 32-13 that year. But it's one of these lessons in why in the NFL where you're drafted matters so much. This isn't meant to be a shot at the Raiders, but it is meant to point out how important it is and just how dumb luck it can be where you're drafted. You know, Bryce Young was drafted into a pretty rough situation in Carolina with the Panthers, and we see how that's turned out for him in the first couple of years in the league. And now you look at a guy like Derek Carr, who spent his first 9 years in professional football with the Raiders, and as a result, you know, go and look at the records: 3-13, 7-9, the 12-3, 6-9, 4-12, 7-9, 8-8, 10-7, 6-9. You go through the coaches, all of that stuff. If he had simply been drafted somewhere else, might it have turned out different? Could he have wound up having a Hall of Fame career? Because the winning is the only thing really missing from his resume ultimately. So now the question becomes, where do the Saints go from here? You look at their quarterback situation. It's Jake Haener, Spencer Rattler, and Tyler Shuck. And maybe you make a phone call to Aaron Rodgers. I know everybody thinks he's ticketed for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're going to have to find somebody. Maybe you trade for a guy like Kirk Cousins, but it's going to be a rough year for the Saints at the quarterback position. That's the Sports Wrap Short. Make sure to subscribe, like us, follow us, watch us on TV. I'm Jason Page. We'll catch you back here next time.